Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking to those Zwifters who've never heard of ZwiftPower. What is ZwiftPower? Well, it's a third-party website. You go to ZwiftPower.com and you'll find a lot of information in here that you don't necessarily get, especially at the end of a Zwift race. So I'll quickly run through what it will give you, and then we can talk about whether it's actually worthwhile using ZwiftPower or just using Zwift's own website. I'll just remove my head here just so you can see clearly. So I'm on my profile page at the moment. You can go to the home page. So we'll start there first. This is a great place to start if you want to plan to do an event. Now, obviously on the companion app, you can see how many people have signed up for the event, but this gives you a lot of details. If you're wondering what all these little icons mean, there's a fact page, FAQ, which shows all the little symbols that will help you work out what this means. So for example, if we go into stage 1 at 4:10, the very top of the page, it shows there's 2 ACAT, 6 BCAT, 14 CCAT, 14 DCAT, and 10 ECAT riders. It's a 10-kilometer race, 1 lap, and the course is loop to loop to loop to loop. There is a scoreboard, which is what that little icon means. And then there's no power-ups. So it's a handy thing to know if there is power-ups. So some of the courses will show power-ups, and then you have to go in the description to see what the power-ups are. And then it shows there's a staggered start, which is something that I probably should check more often, because there's nothing more annoying being a B or a C cat rider and starting with the A cat riders. It's just, as you guys know, that it can be an awful start. And then, of course, there's the only riders in your group visible. So that means you won't be seeing, if you're a B cat rider, you won't see A, C, and D, and obviously C's and D's and E's and A's will see differently as well. And it shows yesterday, because one of the things you got to be careful of when looking at this page, as you can see, it says 4:10. My time now is 5:18. It shows us 19 finishes, depending on how long the course is. It's only 10 kilometers, so that probably means more. And then you got the results page, which if you click on it, like I just did, you can have a look at the results, but it doesn't go back that far. At the moment, it will show to me until this race happened on Thursday at 5:10. So today is Sunday. So it's only a couple of days, which isn't that useful if you try and look at history. But the place you can do for looking at history for your own races anyway is in your profile page. So as you can see here, I've got pages and pages and pages of results. Every single time you enter an event on Zwift, it'll turn up on ZwiftPower. Now, let's have a look at what it shows you. It will give you your average power, your watts, normalized power, 25, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, but you can change all of that with all these columns. So you can really personalize it. And then, of course, what you can do as well is click on this folder and view a race report. This is actually your fit file. So as long as you've got a blue bar in this section, the blue bolt as we used to call it, then your fit file's uploaded. For these ones, the green ones, it means that the fit file hasn't uploaded. Now the reason why for these ones is because they're the micro races. They were they were a 4-minute race. So for some reason Zwift can't deal with 4-minute races, but I'll just choose one of the blue bolts. So stage 5, I'll click on that and it'll show then the fit file on here. I'm going to make 2 more videos about ZwiftPower. This is just looking at the basics of ZwiftPower. I'm going to also then talk about a plugin, the ZRS plugin for Zwift. And then also I'm going to look at a very specific feature in that ZRS plugin for video 3, which is probably going to be a bit more controversial because it does look at the fit files of yourself and your competitors. So let's go back to my profile and have a look to see what it also shows. So I'll go back into that stage 5. I raced in the A category. It's not an A category, but for ZRS it was A category because it was the top ZRS score. So it shows me as 6. Now, this is where things get a little bit complicated, because if you're doing an official Zwift event, the official result is the result that it shows. It shows when you cross the finishing line, because Zwift it's not a community event. Where ZwiftPower really shines is when you're in a community event, is that it allows community-based organisers to then filter out people who shouldn't be in the event. So a classic case used to be that an A cat rider would enter a B cat or even a C or a D cat race. But another classic case is also points races. Zwift doesn't do points races natively at the end of a race. It can't accumulate the results. So what happens is a community race organizer has to then go through and set it up on ZwiftPower to then show the points, because the finished result wasn't the result. And Zwift.com won't show you that either. Now, one of the issues, of course, being a third-party app is it's a pain in the ass, because it's a third-party app. You set up Zwift, you set up everything, and then you don't want to have them then sign up for another app. But I'll show you how to do it, because it's quite an easy process. Okay, so setting up a ZwiftPower account is really easy. Previously, ZwiftPower was not owned by Zwift, so the actual setup process was different. Now, because it is owned by Zwift, all you do is you put your login details that you have already for Zwift. I'm obviously going to cover up my email and my password because I don't want people spamming me. So I do log in. What I'll do is then say you need to opt in. So you then click on the profile page. Now this is going to take me straight to my primary account, which is already set up with Zwift. So this is now my primary account. So I've already got ZwiftPower chosen, but you just click on connect. So the other ones that I haven't got connected, like Wahoo and things, it's exactly the same as ZwiftPower. You choose to just connect to ZwiftPower, and that's it. Don't have to do anything else. Now, whilst we're on the Zwift page and on my primary account, let's go to a place that a lot of Zwifters don't even know about, because this is not a page that you get sent to whilst you're on Zwift. This is Zwift's own website, and it shows information that a lot of people don't know. I did make a video about this, about how hard it is to find, but if you go to my feed and it'll show obviously the same stuff that you get in the companion app. But what you need to do is go to my feed, and then this is what's really annoying about Zwift, the website, is that it's really counterintuitive. I've been here quite a few times and it still does my head in about trying to find your race thing. So let's go to account. Let's try this. Here we go. So we're in the wrong spot. What I want to do is I find my profile. So my feed, and then my profile. So see this little thing here. It is so frustrating, because if you go to your account and go to my profile, it's still also the same thing. But here we go, my profile, this little blue thing in there. This will take you to a page that most Zwifters don't even know exists, because of the fact that it's so hard to find. It's my racing page, my achievements page, and also shows your followers and following, which is not very important. You can find that on the companion app. A lot of this information you can find, it's the same information as on the companion app. It just shows your totals and streaks, racing score, your performance. But this is the page that relates most to what ZwiftPower has always provided and Zwift hasn't. Let me just move my stupid head. Whoops, wrong one. Move my head out of the way a bit over here. So this shows obviously information about me, that my racing score, my 30-day max, my number of races, podiums, and then basically it gives me a summary of all of my race results. And there's every single race I've ever done on Zwift. So the good thing is it gives you all the information that we used to have to go to ZwiftPower to get. So tell me my vitals. It's very funny. So we'll go back into stage 5 and compare what it shows compared to ZwiftPower. So the same thing as ZwiftPower. It shows time, your watts, your 20-minute, 5-minute, 15 seconds. So there's not as many options for your power. There's no 1 minute and 30 seconds and things like that. So there's a smaller amount of detail of information, but just like ZwiftPower, you can click on someone else. So the person who won this race, I can click on them. I can see that they've done how many races. It's loading up. They've done 67 races. So they're 67 races is quite a lot, but in terms of many older Zwifters who have done over 1,000 races, it's quite new. And then it gives all the information to them, and I can see their achievements. This is all the stuff you can see in the companion app. But what it doesn't give you, ZwiftPower as a community organizer, you can't adjust any of these metrics for the race results. So we'll go back into this is where a little bit frustrating. Like I've got to use the back button up here to get back to me without having to. So go back to my profile. So I don't know if I can highlight that. Does this button work? Yeah, there we go. So my profile up here, don't go into here. If you go to here and go to my feed, you're also back in the same spot. And then you go, okay, where's my profile? Go to account. Let me just, so if you go to that and then you're in my profile, this is not the page that you want to go to. So Zwift, if you are watching this my profile, maybe stick it up here, because this is where up here be far better than down here. So my profile and then the racing page. So you're probably saying to yourself, Ben, why would I bother connecting with ZwiftPower if I don't do points races, if all of my races are basically just normal regular Zwift races and I can get my information on the Zwift.com website? Well, one of the reasons why you would join ZwiftPower is if you're joining a team. So we'll go back to ZwiftPower and you'll see my profile. And it shows that I'm in a team with Burrito. So if you ever join up with a team, which you can see a lot of people in these races are, they're racing for teams. So one of the great things about ZwiftPower is you can actually look at the teams. And if you're trying to find a team to race with, especially like these WTRL time trials, you can then have a look at the team page. So at the moment, this is one of the biggest teams on Zwift, Team Vegan. So you can go to join Team Vegan. Not sure if you saw that. Let me click on that. It's up there. And then, I've been added to accidentally join Team Vegan. I don't want to join Team Vegan. So let's go my teams. Team Vegan. How do I get out of it? Leave Team Vegan. Okay. I don't want to be in Team Vegan. And not that I just dislike Team Vegan, but I didn't mean to join Team Vegan. Now, generally they will have, there we go, about us. So if you go to the page and then they'll have information about how to join the team, because this relates to another video I'll do about how to get into a team so that you can race in the team events on Zwift, because you can't access these team events through the native Zwift apps most of the time. Pretty much every time, actually. But anyway, hope you enjoy that video. I'm going to pop up also, as I said, the video about how to use the ZRS plugin in in ZwiftPower, and also then a very important tool in ZRS plugin that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in. A lot of people who are cheating are not going to like. Anyway, peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.